Hello, 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 everyone. How's everybody doing? Good, good,
Hey, doing
good.
just fine.
Good, good, good.
Nobody have a mic on.
Woo! All right, we'll let some more people in here. Oh man, Lido, man, Sunday, man. I was toast before I got home, man. Oh man, I had to spend the rest of the day trying to recover. I don't know what was wrong, but oh man, the heat and that wind that picked up in the afternoon, that zonked me. Josh, good to see you, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. Talk to Smith.
Yes.
Yeah,
My brother.
we actually did a one of our shows with the president. He came on and was the president's guest, and we were talking before.
Oh, nice.
So I'm glad you're joining us. Glad you're joining us.
Yes. Looking forward to it.
Unfortunately, we do not have that beautiful California weather.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
73
man.
every day here, so
No, today it is. It's actually cool today. It's 84.
nice.
84. I think they said some rain is supposed to come in. Well, we'll see, but it's gonna go back up to 90 something. But
There you go.
yeah. We'll wait for a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. Hopefully, it won't be a long meeting, just kind of an update. If anybody has any questions, definitely want to do that. We're getting down to the last little 90 days, kind of. Gotta next couple of weeks, gotta solidify the roster and send that off to the hotels, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Jonathan, you're not behind me, man. What's up? I don't know how to. I don't know how
I
to.
heard a little complaining about the heat and tiredness.
Well, before we started, we had already had 16, 17 miles. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sounds like excuses again, but yeah.
Every once in a while you got to have an excuse. So, every once in a while. All right. Well, we'll have a word of prayer and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's pray. Father, we thank you once again for this opportunity to just give some updates, some information about the Determined Cycling Tour that's coming up in September. Lord, there's still lots of things that need to be put in place, and we just ask that you would give us the strength, the wisdom to know what we don't know so that we can make sure that this is another successful tour. Thank you for all those that are on the video chat today, Lord, and we just ask that you would bless their families, be with those that will listen to the recording later, and just bless them as well. And be with the success of this endeavor, Lord. We pray this in your name. Amen. All right, everyone. For those of you who do not know Tamara is my associate at the Texas conference. She's kind of like my right arm. She is actually doing quite a bit with this event, more so with the virtual run, walk, and ride part of it. She's actually doing the walking part. She's assisting us with this, and then also for our actual ride, she'll be assisting with the logistics. And there's a lot of logistics that takes place, and so we want to thank her for joining us as well. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen here. And you guys see my screen? All right. Let me bring my screen back over here so I'm not looking crossways. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. So we're just going to kind of go through this. Dates. We're going to talk about this in a second. So I'm going to just kind of go past this part because we're actually going to look at the agenda here. So we're going to do an overview. It always happens. All right. So we're going to do an overview of what we talked about last meeting, some cycling information about the Jersey store, the fundraising, mobile cause, and then sponsorship. So here's what we need to know. First of all, this is kind of an overview. The actual dates of the actual tour are officially the 12th through the 24th. That's the actual kind of the riding time. Obviously, we're not riding on Sabbath, so we will. Those will be our rest days. So we have 2 of those. Well, actually, really 1, and then the other one is kind of at the end of it. So we will leave Alvarado on September the 9th, which is a Thursday, and that we will drive down to McAllen. It's about 8.5, 9 hours, depending on how fast you're driving. We'll drive down there at about 8 o'clock in the morning. You see the fundraising goals. You guys know that maximum number of people that we could take is 30. And actually the count is actually at 15, but one of our riders that has ridden with me for the last 4 tours that I did, he may or may not be able to ride. He had an accident, and so it wasn't on the bike, so it was a separate accident, and so he's trying to recover. So he's trying to put some back-to-back days to see how he's going to feel, and we'll let his doctor make that determination on that. All right, so here's the route. You find it on Strava. I think it's broken out into his days all by now. Kind of tweaking, did the last kind of tweaks on it for a while back. So it's pretty much what it is. So when you look at this, you see we're coming from basically the south of Texas, going all the way up to North Dallas, which is passing through Dallas up to the Richardson area. But I want you to take notice to the elevation. You notice that really for the first 450 miles, it's pretty flat. Obviously, there are little peaks there, but those are just some little areas. Like 100 miles, that's will be close to Corpus Christi. So there's a little bit of elevation there. But where the real elevation comes in is, week 2, when we get to that Houston, out of the Houston area, going to the Austin area. That's where we're going to start having more of the elevation. This is just more information. One thing I will say about what's going to be happening, the schools, the McAllen school, they're planning to do a really big thing that morning, that Sunday morning. And actually, we're probably going to do something that Sabbath prior to leaving. They're probably going to do something at the local church there. We're trying to get I think our president's going to be there, and he's going to pray for us and wish us the Lord's blessings. And then he's actually going to be coming periodically throughout, and then on the second week he'll be there a little bit more because there's some stops that we're making. This is kind of the overview. I say 70 to 80 miles average a day, give or take. This is a new route for everyone. I've never done this one before, so I don't know where some of the pitfalls are and some of the things. I mean, I've driven it, but I don't know, riding it where it's going to be. I do know that there is I need to say this, that when we're going on I think it's the first day, we need to make sure that we have all of our IDs, driver's license and things like that, because as we're coming from McAllen, we go through a checkpoint. and I still need to find out how that's going to work. Do we need to load up before we go to the checkpoint and then come back out? So I'm going to be checking on that, but that's the only checkpoint that is there. It's about 75 miles in, so it's almost at the tail end of the route. So there is a border patrol checkpoint that is there. Obviously, we're staying in hotels. Great thing is that the COVID protocols in a lot of these places are starting to change a little bit. If you are vaccinated, then you're good to go. If you're not vaccinated, we recommend that you bring some masks, just to keep, because we're not going to ask you if you are, but we will. If you want to volunteer and let us know, then that's fine. That will be part of the medical procedure. Meals, obviously, we have our chef who's coming, and this is another part that we're kind of working on. He's checking on us. We're going to have our mobile kitchen that's going to follow us with us. And then we have our support vehicles, 4 to 6 vehicles, depending on how many cyclists we have. And then we're still working on a couple of things here. And these are the areas that, if you know of individuals, and here's my preference. So let me give you my preference first, and then we'll work from there. All right. So if you know someone that is a nurse that's a cyclist and that would love to be a part of this, let me know. Give me their name, information, reach out to them first, obviously, see if they're interested. If they're interested, give them a call. If you know a doctor, same thing. And when it comes to mechanics, we don't necessarily need a mechanic, because a lot of things that we have happen are very, flat tires, things like that we kind of know how to do. However, if there is a major mechanical issue, we're going to find a local shop to take the bike to and get that taken care of. Massage therapists and chiropractors is another area that I'm looking at possibly doing a little bit different than we did before. Normally, we would have those individuals come with us. This time, we may actually find chiropractors and massage therapists at our stops, because it might be better just to have someone that's local that will come to the hotel with a couple of people and offer that. If that works, then we'll see how that works. Media people, not so much worry about that, because that's going to be covered. Security, that's covered. Drivers covered. Chef covered. All right. So moving on. Any questions about that? No questions?
Hey, Pastor.
Let me ask you, what are the I'm sure there are meals during the midday. Does that include our supper time in the evening as well too, or are we on our own in the evenings?
Yeah, you're not on your own on any of these things except for when we arrive. Let me get back with you, because typically what happens is that we start covering meals. We start covering meals Sabbath afternoon. Like the church will do a meal for us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's typically in the afternoon. After that meal, if you want something to eat later on Saturday night before we leave, that's kind of on you. But from that moment forward, all the way until the next Saturday night, the ending of the event and Saturday night, we kind of have it covered. But it's a little different this time because we're not catering with the hotel. So, but I can tell you this, that if you're thinking, okay, what am I going to have meals covered on my own? I would say the Thursday the 9th when we arrive, and say the Friday lunch.
When we finish, yeah.
Well, the lunch, and then maybe Friday night. But I'm almost certain that we're going to take care of Friday night. But other than that, everything else is covered. Everything else.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it is I will let you know, it is if you're not vegetarian, you will be for 2 weeks if you eat with us. If not, you run and get some chicken. But I will say this: if you do it, just know that don't give me a receipt. All right. Yes, Jonathan.
Hey, Pastor, are we supposed to be seeing some of the slides going
Are you not
by?
seeing them?
No, we're just using that.
No, we're not seeing anything.
Oh, wait, my thing just stopped. Did you guys see it before?
No, we
No.
just see the opening slide here.
Okay.
There we
Okay.
go.
Oh, you see it now?
Hey, my
Yeah.
wife asked, do we have any women, any ladies riding?
Yes, there is a young lady who's riding. She's ridden with us before. She has she was going to do the 2 weeks, but she has a business, and so she's kind of nervous about leaving her business for 2 weeks with her general manager. So
Mhm.
she's going to join us for the 1 week, and maybe we can convince her to stick on. But we typically do have ladies. We also have another lady who is an older lady who has ridden with us before. Actually, she's ridden with us um, 3 different times. I think it was either 3 or 4 different times. Great rider out of Houston. I'm not sure if she's doing the whole thing, but she is signed up to ride with us as well.
Okay.
All right, so you guys see the slides now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I know what I did. I moved the whole thing to the other screen for my benefit, and that didn't help you guys. All right. So these are the so nothing has really changed here on this. These are the routes, the mileage, and you see 75, 37, 44, 119, 83, 43. And you're probably like, man, those are across the board. Those are kind of weird. Well, we do this for the first week and the second week because if you've never done a multi-day ride, you're if you ride 50 miles for 2 days, you're going to feel a certain way, and you're going to be like, oh, wow, all right, I'm glad I don't have to do it again. So my recovery ride is going to be 25, 30 miles at a slower pace. Well, with these kind of rides, your body does not necessarily recover fully. And so we've built in some 75 miles is a pretty far ride for first day. Everybody's excited, everybody's adrenaline is going, everybody's pumped, and you're gonna wake up the next day and be like, oh, now I see why we're only doing 37. Woo, I'm glad. Because your body's gonna be like, okay, yeah, that was a lot, and I'm not ready to do any more right now. So we put in a 37, and we also did this because somebody may say, yeah, I'm not in the shape, I'm not doing it anymore. So we're still close enough to get you where you need to go to get you someplace. And also the other reason is, and it kind of worked out this way, is from McAllen to Fulfilia, there's only one motel, and I don't like motels, but that's the only option we have, and I still haven't solidified with them. There's really only one, and so we would have had to ridden from McAllen to Kingsville in order to get decent hotels, but that is over 100 miles the first day, and I didn't want to put individuals through that initially because it's 2 weeks. If this was 1 week, I wouldn't worry so much. But this is actually 2 weeks, and then you see it builds up from there. Um, and then this is the second week. You see that the mileage is different. So you see 114. Let me go back. You see there was a 119 Corpus to Victoria. That's a long route. That's a long day. Um, but I always like to say this, that anybody that does not want to necessarily do the whole thing, you can load up in a vehicle and you can rest. It's not a race, so you can do that. Um, but then you see a 114 on that 7 day because that's a Sunday. We're waking up, we refresh. We've had we were resting on Saturday. We didn't ride or anything like that, and so it's 114. Once again, we don't have to do the 114, but because this is now heading into the Austin area, so the elevation starts to go up a little bit. Um, the weather is going to be still warm. It's not going to be extremely hot like August, but it's still going to be a little warm. So we want to kind of build into that. And now you notice the next day is 20 miles from Elgin to Georgetown. Um, and the reason for that is because this is truly a kind of a rest recovery day. And you may want this 20 miles. I mean, you may want only 10 miles. So we wanted to build this in there. Then it starts going from Georgetown to Killeen. Now you're looking at those miles, like, oh, that's not too bad. It's climbing. This is the hill country, the foot part of the hill country. So we basically climb from here all the way until the end of it. So any questions on those? And you can get the segments. They're all on Strava. If you go to our club on Strava, you can actually download them. And I recommend that if you download, you plan on downloading the routes each day, do it closer to the event. And if you see on there, you see you could export as a GPX or a TCX, depending on what device you use. I think Garmin, we use the GPX. It'll give you each day turn by turns, so you'll know. But I would recommend that you download these closer to the event, because something may change. We may have to make a slight change from that. All right. All right. So first of all, I want to say to Lido, thank you for designing our first kits, jerseys, and you guys that ordered them. We actually comped those. We took care of the cost of those. So you basically got a free jersey out of it. And if you still want to order those jerseys, that particular type jersey, then we could talk about that later on. But Lido did an outstanding job on ordering that. I think one of the things that I had, one of the dilemmas that I had, is that when I ordered it with the understanding that I was a certain size, the way I was, but I didn't take in consideration the amount of weight that I would have dropped. So I can't even really wear mine. Mine is kind of, I think I wore it once, and now it's baggy. So I have two 10, what are these, 10s or something like that, kind of a size, whatever. So what I'll do is I have one that I have not worn, and then one that I wore once. I'll bring them, and if somebody wants to see if they fit, by all means, because I'm continuously every time I get a good week of riding in, I'm continuously dropping. My wife had to replace my wedding band 3 different times already, and this is no joke. And I have not even hit the summer. So we're now about to hit the summer where you just start losing everything. So Lido, thank you for that. And if you guys want that jersey, we can talk about that later after the tour. If you want to just get those, we can make that available. Well, we have our second round of jerseys, and these are the jerseys. The store, I thought I was going to be able to give you the link tonight, but the people have not sent it to me. Let me just check my email one more time today, just to be on the safe side. I don't want to give you misinformation. No, I don't see it. So it's going to come sometime. Yeah, they didn't send it. Sometime this week we should have it. And the reason why it's taken so long, and I do apologize, the reason why it's taken so long is because I added running shorts, and running shirts for our virtual runners and walkers that want to join us. So their options are also going to be on here. Hey, Daryl, welcome, man. We have this is supposed to be the orange that you see inside the jersey part of it. It looks more yellowish. So I don't know. I don't know. That's the color they said. So hopefully it will match. I mean, it will match because it's still it's still that same genre, but I was hoping it to be a little bit more orange, but this is fine. The reason why we went with two types of jerseys. We went with a lighter one and a darker one. And I'm gonna explain why. The lighter one is more visible. So if you want to ride this, after the tour, before the tour, whatever, it's visible. It's really visible. It's really bright. But the one thing about having brighter jerseys is that if you get stains on there, that you could see them. So we also wanted to give you this option as well. Let me click back over here. This option as well. We've got a blue, and now this one
I
Yeah.
like this one, buddy. Yeah, this one. Give me
Yeah,
this one,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. So this one says, I'm out to get it. So both of these, the good thing about this is that both of these jerseys are available. We will make both of them available. There's, if you want to get both, I'm definitely going to get both. And what we did was we've actually opened it up to, you see the socks in there. There, you could add caps to it. You could add these little neck garters. We've even put in the long sleeves because I wanted, when we designed it, I said, look, just go ahead and design it all. And so this is the darker version of it. If you want to get, two of each, knock yourself out. What we're going to do, and you notice on here that there are no sponsorships because we still haven't got nailed down sponsors. So what does that mean? That means that we're going to open this as soon as possible so you can get them. If we get any sponsors before the actual event starts, we'll add them to them. We'll open up the store again. And those most likely will probably come either right before we leave, or they will come. If it's going to be too close to the tour, we'll wait until after and open it up again. But remember, this is a multi-year event. We're not going to change the jerseys next year. So in other words, we'll just open up the store and you can get, add some more jerseys. We will also open up the store probably during right in the fall, the latter part of the fall, if you want to get long sleeve, leg warmers, arm warmers, and all of those things. We'll make that available. Now, I will say this, that they have changed the rules so that now there is a minimum of 10, but now you can add, everything kind of counts towards it. So I give you an example. Most likely, I'm probably going to get two of each. So I've already nailed down, um, you know, what's this? What's that? Two of each. It's 8 pieces already. So all I need to do is get and somebody else could just get two other things, and we're basically covered for that. So that gives you an idea. But when we open it, we're only going to keep it open for 2 weeks because it takes about 5 weeks for them to create it and send it back, and we want to make sure we have it in time. So if you're planning on ordering it immediately, when you get that link, go ahead and go in there. Now, the question, I know you're probably saying, what's the cost? Well, that depends on you, because you can get a lighter, you kind of customize it. They kind of have the, the bottoms that are a little bit more, expensive. There's some that are not as expensive. So they're pretty much around the same cost as what we would have paid before, of about 150, 165. They're still the same cost, but if you want to get even more, better quality, you can. And so you kind of determine which one you want to get. All right. And so that's the jerseys. And like I said, hopefully by tomorrow, they'll open up that store. All right.
Now, does our fee include any of this? Or
No,
are we
it does
paying-
not. No,
It does not. Okay.
no, it does not. No, this is and here's the thing that you guys may get mad at me about, but we may offer someone a jersey as a promo for get them to sign up. In other words, they say if you sign up by X before July 15th, we're going to talk about what July 15th is, then you get a jersey. But the bad part about that is that they're not going to have their jersey for the event. So we will order their jersey, but it won't come in time. But they will have a free jersey. So that's kind of like, they're going to get a discounted price. I mean, they're going to get a jersey if they register in time. And I know you guys are like, well, why don't you do that for us? Well, I'm sorry. And we haven't decided if we're going to do that yet. Yes, sir.
I'd like to say that you already did. We got the free first kit. So.
Thank you, Lito. Yes, I already did it. So
We got the what?
We bought the jerseys for everyone when we first did it a couple of months back. Yeah, so everybody had a free jersey.
Oh, we do?
No. It was when we did our first order. This was before you signed up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like I said, if the one that I have fits you, Calvin, that'll be your free jersey. Will that work? You don't look convinced.
Said those that registered first. Okay. All right. I
Yeah,
understand.
this was probably about 4 months ago. I think it was about 4 months, 3 or 4 months ago. This was.
I had registered by then. I
Well,
registered last year.
when was it that we did it, Lito? Was it?
I believe it was about 3 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, because I registered almost as soon as you sent the email out.
Yeah, there was an email that was sent asking for sizes. And
Oh yeah.
I responded, those are the ones that got ordered.
Yeah. So when we sent the email about the sizes, those that responded to the email, those are the orders that we actually
probably missed that then. Okay. All right.
But like I said, the one that I have, if it fits you, that's yours. But on this round, this is a different company. So the way this company works, and if I'm not mistaken, hopefully they'll do it the same way. COVID has kind of changed things. When you order these jerseys, it's shipped to you. It doesn't come to me. And you pay for it. You choose what you want, and it's shipped directly to you. All right. All right. So once again, these are the pace lines that we talked about before: 15 to 16 plus 17 to 19 flats, tailwind. I think pretty much if you guys have been training the way I've been seeing you guys train, I don't think 17, 19 is going to be that hard for you guys to maintain in a group. But our goal is to stay around that 15 to 16. And really, honestly, if we're getting that southern tailwind that seems to come from the valley up towards Dallas, it's gonna push us pretty good. But once again, we go as fast as the slowest person, unless that slowest person is below our threshold of speed, and then that person needs to really reevaluate what they're doing, because then that means they didn't train. And we still have 90 days till the event, so even with 90 days, you could actually get to that point. And I think everybody on this call, this is not an issue for you. All right, moving right along here. You guys already know, you guys already signed up for it, so you don't have to worry about that part. This is the full coverage for it. This is half. This is 3 days, 2 days. Kind of go through that. This doesn't really apply to us. We do still have our fundraising incentive for those that raise more, fundraising goal. We will try to offer some great incentives if we get to that point. But I think if you don't reach it, well, let me just say this: we want you to try to reach your goal. We want you to try to reach your goal, because reaching your goal has two effects. One, it has the ability to cover you without an issue, and it also has the ability to match what we want to do for our fundraising. So I encourage you to continue to raise. If you get down to the end and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and pay it. It is a fundraising goal, so you can do whatever you want. And don't be surprised if you get a tax receipt at the end of the year, because it is considered fundraising that we're doing. All right. Here's what I said about July 15th. We're closing registration at July 15th. We're not taking anyone else unless they can, they have demonstrated that their training is on par with us, and they're there. If they have not, if they're coming out and saying, hey, I'm feeling like I want to do this, that's not going to be the answer. We're not going to do that this time. We've done that in the past, where we've allowed individuals to not really demonstrate their training, and we kind of got bit on that. We're not going to do that again. So July 15th is cut off. So if you know friends, family, anybody that's been on the fence, tell them they got till the 15th of July. And then after that, we're shutting it down, because I've got to get the list to the hotels. I've got to get the insurance covered. And I want to make sure that our drivers know how many cyclists we have and how many people we are going to be covered. Now, with that being said, in the next couple of weeks, you guys are going to receive some information, and most of that information is pretty much going to be medical information. You'll fill out the information out. You can scan it, email it back to us, and we'll put it in the file so you can have. What we do is we own our own insurance company, so therefore we'll be covered by Adventist Risk Management, and they basically, once I get your information back, I put it in the system, and it basically spits out the medical. It's not medical cards, but it's medical documentation that we will use. And the way our insurance works is basically for this event, your insurance, your primary insurance is what you have. So if you get hurt or whatever, that's your primary insurance. Our insurance for this event covers that with I believe it's $50,000, and then there's obviously some dismemberment and death, which we will pray does not happen, and we don't use it. So you're fully covered for this event, and you're fully covered from the date that you join us on the 9th until the date that you leave us, either on the 24th or the 26th. Now, when I say 24 or 26, is that we're planning to do at the end of the route, we come Friday into Richardson, Texas, and we are planning to have something with the school on that Friday, and then on the next day, that Sabbath, they want to do a rally for Adventist education at the Canyon Creek where the school is located. It's a big facility. They want to do something there. We're still working with the school on that to have an education day. You don't have to stay for that. You can leave and go home if you like. But I think it's a nice gesture just to, have a kickoff and farewell. If you are staying until the event is over with, we will have hotels until that Sunday. So if you wanted to stay until that Sunday, you could. And when I say hotels, the hotels are for even individuals that live in the DFW area. I know you're like, well, why? That doesn't make any sense. Well, it does if you have to come back on Saturday morning, if you want to be a part of that. It will make a lot of sense, because when you realize how far of a drive it is, you'll want to stay there anyway. But it's totally up to you. And what we will do is you'll let us know if you're planning to stay. If you're not planning to stay, then we will make the adjustments in the rooms. All right. So that's closing on that. Once again, you know how to you've already kind of logged into your texting thing. If you want to give this number to your individuals, you go into your portal. It'll tell you how to do it. You could text. They can text you donations. They can also do reoccurring donations. So if somebody does a reoccurring donation, they can donate $100 a month, $50 a month, and it'll just come out automatically. And so you guys have gone into that system, and that's the way you'll do it. And you'll change your information. You'll add your picture, and I've noticed most of you have done that already. All right. Here's some of our sponsors. We're still working, like I said before, to get more sponsors. We're going to, as far as there's a couple of things that I need you guys to do for me, and I think it's on the form, but don't quote me. So if you have something to write down, just write this down. But I believe it is on the form. It is simply, I need to know your wheels, your wheel size, and your inner tube size. So if you're a 25, 28, 30, I need to know those, because those, when we get extra supplies and mechanical things, I want to make sure that we have everyone covered with that. Also, if you like a particular nutritional substance that you want to use, that you use on a regular basis, I recommend that you bring some for yourself for the whole time. What we'll be using Honey Stinger, we'll be using SIS, and we may use a little bit of Hammer. And if you use any of those, we got you covered. If you don't, if you have your own mixture concoction brew, or anything that you want to bring, that's on you. And I recommend you bring enough for yourself for the whole time. Um, and I don't, this is probably not the best place to experiment.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
whatever you use, you use. All right. Somebody may say they want to try it. And we're also I'm gonna try to get some, if you use beet juice, we'll try to get some beet juice as well. But those are the things, and also we'll have some pickle juice. Um, that will, those are the things that we will supply. So if you use
Now,
those things, you're good.
is this just energy gels? You're gonna have some energy bars as well. I'm gonna try this honey stinger. Haven't
Yeah.
tried that one.
So Honey Stinger has, they have bars, they have gels, and they have recovery. They have also
Oh,
jelly bean kind of things. These are,
yeah.
so I've used them for years. They were sponsored for our last 4 rides, and so they work pretty well. I'm now using SIS because I found that it is something that I don't have to drink a whole lot of water with.
Got
I
a
don't have to
water with,
mix
yeah.
it, so it works great, especially in the hot weather. It works great. And our rider, one of the guys we ride with on Sunday, Genesis, pointed me in that direction, and I haven't turned back. So, well, if you have any of those if you use any of those, we got you covered. We're going to get enough of that for the whole time. The other thing is that we are going to have what we call cycling food or cycling snacks, which are like rice, not rice cakes. Right? Don't think rice cakes. That's not what I'm. But it's rice with some of it's called savory and sweet. Some of them have curry in it. Some have berries in it. And if you've never had it before, you're probably like, ugh. But I don't know, Daryl. Did you enjoy it when we had it? Yeah, yeah. So it is literally, we have a cycling cookbook, and our chef, who used to cycle for many years, we got this cookbook, and he cooks these things, and he makes them into little small, kind of like little patties, and he puts them in individual foils, and you can grab them each morning and put them in your thing, and those are actually like meals. That's almost like a lunch, and that's kind of when we eat on the bike. They're very good. They're made of rice. Mm, yeah, they carried us through 550 miles. And so if you've never had them before, they're pretty good. All right, so let me just kind of go through this. These are for other individuals. All right, so these are the links that I've shared with you before. Once again, we're recording this, so if you wanted to go back and review any of this that we have, by all means do so. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the screen now. All right. Any questions, guys?
Let
Any
me ask you,
questions?
what is like a typical day like for a 75-mile ride? I mean, obviously you start at 9 in the morning. Maybe do you take a small break at 20, 25 miles? Do you stop at 50 miles and eat? Are we actually going to stop and eat? I hope we stop for a while, and then you kind of finish up in the afternoon. Well, what is a
Well,
typical day like?
yeah. So a typical we start, or it's roughly about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay,
We get up at 7. Breakfast is pretty much supplied at the hotel.
okay,
You get up at at your time. We step off. We have word of prayer, a little devotional thought. We step off at 8 o'clock, rolling, and depending on when we're going through the city, or the towns that we're going through, rush hour is kind of coming to an end, and we're
hmm
not really going through a whole lot of rush hour areas. But coming to an end, we make our way through, head out to the countryside, and we roll probably on a 75-mile ride. We will probably stop at maybe at mile 30,
okay,
35. And then unless we have to stop because um, you know everybody's kind of in this, and we need to stop. We stop for restroom for our ladies because they don't do what we do. So we accommodate them for that, and we find gas stations to stop at. And when we stop for them, that's considered a stop. But we don't do a whole lot of stopping. If
Mhm.
someone is like, man, I'm not feeling it. What we typically do is we load them up till they're ready to move on. But on a
Move
75
on.
mile ride, it's not a. We stop maybe once or twice, and then by then the day is over with. Because you think about it, 75 miles typically for us, 50 miles. For us to do 50 miles is give or take 3 hours. It's
Mhm.
3 hours, give or take. Um, so an additional 25 miles at 75 is really only going to take us maybe another hour and 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So we could be done by, you know, really noon. And so when you think about a day, you're done at noon. You have from 1 o'clock till the next morning really to recover. So the days are not like, well, on those 100 days, it may be, the days are not like um, coming in at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. There may
Assuming
be
that,
there
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there may be something that would cause that, but we were typically done by 3:30, 4 o'clock. I remember when we came into Lafayette, that was our longest day. That was like 114 miles. We came in during rush hour, and that was. Ugh. I mean, it wasn't. It's a small town, but it still has a rush hour.
Mhm.
But for the most part, we're done by noon, 11:30 noon, and it depends. If you got a tailwind, we could do 50 miles in 2 hours and 45 minutes. So that just tells you, you rolling. So it really depends on the weather, the the um, the tailwind, really, because we could be done fairly quickly. And I suspect that the first day we're going to probably be done early. I mean, because everybody's kind of hyped and excited and moving, and then the next day nobody's going to want to get up. So um, that's how it goes. So, but we want to, that's a typical day. That's a typical day.
Okay.
Now on those 114, those 214, 119 days, if we complete those as as everybody agrees, and you know what, let's go ahead and shoot for the century, and we get out there and we're riding and we're doing all right. It's going to start getting probably at a mile marker 80, 85, the body's going to start acting crazy, and you're going to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not feeling it. And we can make a judgment call on any of these to say, you know what, let's either finish it, or let's just do 100, or let's just do 85. We can make that call. But I think for the most part, all the times that we've done these, we've never had to really load up, um, except for maybe once. Um,
Well, you load up when it rains, don't you? Uh,
we So we load up if there's lightning.
Lightning?
Rain. No, we started what, 3 tours in the rain from Houston. It was like Houston was just raining for us, waited for us to get
I know
there.
it rains a lot in Houston. Okay.
Yeah, so it waited for us to start Sunday morning. Saturday was beautiful. Sunday rain.
Okay.
So we will ride. If there's lightning, we will not ride. If it's a drizzle, we will ride. If it's a
Yeah. And
downpour, we'll
or
wait. We'll wait.
yeah. Okay. All right, that
Um,
makes sense. Okay.
yeah, yeah. But I suspect where we're starting from in McAllen, if it rains, something went wrong. It doesn't. It doesn't rain much in McAllen. So um, as we get closer to Corpus Christi and closer to Houston, maybe we may get some. All right. So that's a typical day. It is a lot of fun. We there's a lot of um, talking, a lot of joking, and then there may be hours of no talking. Now I do have to tell you that this is one of the things that I tell all cyclists, that if you've never done a tour before, there are hours and hours and hours of nothing happening, and
Oh
then
yeah.
there's moments of pure terror. And that's why it is imperative that we talk to each other. We tell each other about things that are happening. I typically wear a radio and talking with the lead vehicle. and the rear vehicle. They have a tremendous job, and believe it or not, if you've ever ridden 20 miles an hour, on a bike, you feel like you are flying. In a car, you feel like you are going absolutely snail's pace. You're like, I don't, this is crazy. But they're doing that for 3 to 5 hours. So they have to be very attentive because our lives are in their hands. So and we're going to have a support meeting with the support team in the next couple of weeks. In essence, what I tell them is that you sacrifice that vehicle, you sacrifice whatever vehicle you're driving for the rider. And they do. They do. They have protected us for 4 tours, and 2 of the individuals that have driven from day one with me, they're going to be joining us, and I'm so grateful to have them. And then we've got our director of transportation; he's going to be joining us as well, and we have security, because the areas that we're going through they're not all metropolitan areas. I'll put it that way. So our individuals, they protect us, not only vehicles, but they also protect us from other things that could happen. And we typically don't have many issues. We do have, there are knucklehead drivers everywhere, but we typically don't have any issues. We're focused on riding. We focus on the mission at hand, and they are focused on our safety. And they do a pretty good job. They do a pretty good job. And I think this year it'll be even better. But we also, you got to give them some slack. If they tell you don't do something, I know you may want to, but they're going 20 miles an hour for 5 hours in a car. So let's cut them some slack. And also, if any medical people, and I've shared this before, any medical people, request us to get off the bike for whatever reason, elevated heart rate, low blood sugar, any of those reasons, we got to follow them. Even me. My wife did it for 4 years as our medical person. I don't know if she's going to be able to do it this year, but she would tell me, stop. And as we could push through, suffer fast, but when my wife tells me stop, I stop. And so if any of the medical people that are with us tell us that we need to stop, which they don't do unless it's an emergency, then we need to follow what they're asking us to do. All right. Any other questions?
Is this PowerPoint going to be available that I can get? Do you have this where we can?
Yeah, I could send it to you as a PDF.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. No problem.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Ken, you said that you were meeting on which day to drive down to McAllen and Fort Worth there?
That is September the 9th, a Thursday.
September the 9th. And then the ride starts on September the 12th, correct?
Yeah, Sunday.
Okay.
Now, we would need to know anyone. I know, Calvin, I know you're going to meet us down there
yes.
in McAllen. If anybody is not going to load up in Alvarado, I would need to know so that we're not waiting for anyone. Obviously, we have time. So check your schedules. If you want to fly to McAllen, just remember that we're not driving back to McAllen. So your return flight would have to come from Dallas, DFW, or Love Field. So just keep that in mind. All right. Well, how do you guys feel? You guys feel good?
Yeah, it's just hot right now. Sometimes it's hard to do 15, 16, and 91 degree weather, but we're working on it.
Yeah, well, you see, I got my trainer in here for those days, and
I'm here in Florida. It's always hot down here.
Yeah, it's hot here too, but I would say that you start slow, early in the morning. But you guys in Florida,
we start at 6:30.
it's humid.
Yeah,
really humid. But hey, if you guys have any questions, you guys have my contact information. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text, give me a call. So great to have you guys on board. And remember, this is a great opportunity for us to share with the state of Texas that there are individuals that care about health and care about the future when it comes to our young people. And so every time we stop, every time we roll in our jerseys, every time our vehicles roll by, we're always a witnessing opportunity for someone. And we've had some great opportunities in our past tours. And I think that this is going to be an even better opportunity. And I will say this: if there is someone, if there is a cyclist that you know that wants to do it, and they're like, one they may not have the money or may not want to fundraise to it, just encourage them to register, and we'll try to work some things. We'll try to find some sponsorship. There's no guarantees, but we want to give people an opportunity to ride a multi-day, um, because there's nothing like this. There's nothing like this. The next year, because this is multi-year. Next year, we will probably go back to 1 week, but we'll see. You guys, I at the end of all of these events, I always ask everyone that's joined. I said, "Hey, how do you guys feel about next year?" And mostly everyone is like, "No, I'm never doing this again." And about 2 weeks later, it's like, "All right, give it. What's the date? What's the date?" So we'll play it by ear, and I will take counsel from you guys. Um, and once again, whatever you do, um, train. You can never train too much. Um, Never train too much. And I'm saying this especially to Jonathan, because Jonathan has this tendency not to train. He tendency to sit behind people, but that's okay. Jonathan, is your hand up again?
Well, yeah, I had two questions. Uh, you mentioned on your slide about the tailwind, uh, and the headwind. Will you be in the front to cover the wind? Is
You
that
see
I'll
what I
take that
have
as
to
a
go through
yes.
every single Sunday when I've got this
Uh,
person just hanging on behind me. So, Jonathan, I think we will play this by ear. We will let
uh,
you work this time. What was your second question? Because that
and the
first one
second
made no
question:
sense.
does the sponsorship cover the fundraiser also, or is that two separate? Uh, will that be
So
two separate things?
the way the sponsorship works is, if let's say if your company is sponsoring and they sponsor at a level, or if they let me just say this, if your company sponsors and they're saying we want to sponsor you, that sponsorship really is a sponsorship for you. So they're
Okay.
they're covering you. The sponsorship that we're talking about is, there's logos on the back of jerseys. A company that just sponsors a rider doesn't get that. That's
Uh,
something that you would recognize them for. You would talk about them. You would share that on social media. We can't necessarily do that, because sponsorship for us as a nonprofit are a little bit different. In essence, what they're doing is they're saying, we're sponsoring you, and we're going to pay for you to ride. And if they're saying, well, hey, I thought we were going to get a logo, we could talk about that at a offline to say what we can do to acknowledge them. But really, if you guys may have received the sponsorship packet in a PDF. You'll see the levels where individuals can get recognition for. And the reason for that is, our goal is 1.5 million. So someone giving $3,000, $2,000 goes towards it. But do we recognize everyone that does that when we have someone that will give $50,000 or $100,000? There has to be some kind of level in which we say, okay, well, these individuals take priority because they've donated X, Y, and Z. But we will never say to a company, because you gave 3,000, thanks, thank you, and not say their name. We'll put it somewhere. We just want to make sure that we're still in compliance with the IRS when it comes to sponsorship versus fundraising for individuals. I hope that answered your question. All right. Any other questions? All right. One last thing, really quick. On the sponsorship, if you know any sponsors or small businesses that would be interested, please let me know. I can shoot them that PDF, or if you want to share that PDF with them, or the sponsorship packet, by all means do so. We do have to have those any kind of sponsorships in probably in the next couple of weeks if we want to get them on the not the next round of the jerseys, but the jerseys that we will order afterwards. All right. We may be able to get in the next one, but that's pushing it. You would have to really get that information to us sooner than later. All right. If there are no other questions, no other comments or anything, we're going to go ahead and close out. I want to thank you guys. Right on time, 8:01. We are done. Let's have a quick word of prayer and we'll be done. Father, we thank you once again for individuals here. We thank you for their contribution to this event. And we just pray that as they are continuing to train, as they continue to get ready, Lord, that you would just inspire them with new ideas, things that can make this tour even better. And we just ask that you would protect them as they're training, watch over them, be with their health, put a hedge around them as they ride, Lord, and be with their families as well. We ask that you would continue to be with this endeavor, Lord, that it will be bring glory and honor to you, and also to offer an opportunity for young people who once did not have that. And we pray this in your name. Amen. All right, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys have a wonderful evening, and we will be talking soon.
Hey.
Stay upright. Stay upright.